Sam Fuld, 8 seasons in the big leagues, a terrific defensive outfielder during his time, has dedicated himself to understanding analytics, a former standout at Stanford, and Sam Fuld now is the general manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. He joins us now on MLB Tonight. Sam, good to see you. Congratulations, by the way. We saw you talking during your virtual press conference, but now it's great to have you on the show. So you interviewed a couple times for managerial gigs. Which was the dream job for you? Being a general manager, was this the end all? This is what you wanted? Or did you find yourself really hoping that you'd be back in a uniform?
To be honest with you, I don't know if I had a dream job, if I necessarily thought of myself going in either one of those directions. I was lucky enough to kind of keep doors open in both directions. And I pursued the Boston managerial opportunity because for many reasons. I think it's a really quality organization, and I had a relationship with Chaim Bloom, and that's where I grew up. I grew up an hour from Boston, was a Red Sox fan, so that particular opportunity I think was really appealing to me. But I think in a lot of ways I was throughout my playing career and towards the end, especially when I was trying to think about what direction I wanted to go. I think the front office side always appealed to me, and just challenging myself in those ways was something that I probably envisioned doing more than being in uniform.
Sam, Joel Sherman here. The last 2 general manager jobs have gone to Chris Young and yourself, who are former players. It's something that hasn't really been happening a lot over the last 5-10 years. Do you think it's coincidence, or do you think there's something that's been missing, lacking in front offices, maybe some understanding, some feel for the game, and that you two are the beginning of something?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I don't think it's just coincidence. I think that we've reached a point in the game now where we have an overwhelming amount of information, and it's really positive information. It's really valuable information, but it's I think equally important to be able to filter that information in a digestible way. So that a player can use it. It's not just, we're not using information in just evaluation methods. We're using it as a tool to develop players. And I think that's where the perspective of a player comes in handy. Understanding that sometimes, in fact, most times less is more on the information side when it relates to becoming a better baseball player. And I think that, having a little dirt in your spikes gives you that perspective and appreciation that I don't care how into analytics or information usage you are. When you're in the box and you're trying to get a knock off of Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander, game's best, there's only so much you can think about. And I think having that perspective and being able to create simple, unified messages, I think is really important. So I don't think it's a coincidence that there's maybe more of a former player influence on the front office side now.
Sam, at State Valley, congratulations on your new position there. So as a player, a former player, and then you also worked in different capacities in the front office, how were some of those experiences, do you think, translate into leading a team as a general manager?
Yeah, I mean, they've been really valuable. I've been a Philly for just over 3 years, so I've tried to pack in as much as I could possibly pack in 3 years, and I've, had a chance to be in uniform and be in the dugout and work as an outfield instructor and as a sort of translator between our R&D group and our players and coaches. That has been an incredible experience for me, and I've learned a lot, just identifying ways that we can, again, use information to help players and also kind of develop and educate coaches and give them the keys to the car in some ways, and the tools. So I think in that way, it's really helped me. I'm excited to lead a bigger group of people and just impact the Phillies however I can.
Sam, you have been in this position with the Phillies, so you know the team, you know the division. It's the 3-time division champion Braves. It seems like the Mets are investing to get better. The Nationals are a year removed from a championship. The Marlins made the playoffs for the first time since 2003. You're now in a job to put together a team to try to beat those teams. Where are you in the cycle? Is this a step back to take a couple forward? Is it full force ahead to try to win this division as early as 2021? Where do you think the Phillies are right now?
I think we have a ton of talent. I think we have the talent to compete against the best in the division. If I'm being honest, this role for me, has evolved really quickly, and I've just got to know Dave Dabrowski on a personal level. We have no background whatsoever. So the last, I've had 2 long phone calls with him in the last few days, but we haven't necessarily got down to the nitty gritty of where we see our club going and to what extent we see ourselves competing. I think we're a really talented bunch, and we certainly have come away disappointed from our results the last few years. But again, I think there's probably a lot more conversation to be had between myself and Dave and the rest of our group.
Rest of your group includes a guy that you played against a lot when he was the manager of the Yankees. You were with the Oakland A's. Joe Girardi is now your manager as the GM of the Philadelphia Phillies. How do you expect that relationship to work?
I think it'll be great. I have a ton of respect for Joe. I did when I played against him, and when I was actually interviewed him as a member of the Phillies for this role, and he, the first thing he told me was, "Man, I think it felt like you always got a hit against it. You always killed us." And I'm thinking, this guy's a good salesman, because I know knowing myself as a player, I sure didn't get too many hits against the Yankees. I know that. We got off to on like a great start, getting to know him over last offseason, and then I have so much respect for him and what he's done and just how he communicates with people and how smart and practical he is. I think it's an important relationship. I have a ton of respect for him, and I know COVID got in the way and a lot of the relationship building across the game this year, and I wish I could have been more in the trenches with him on a daily basis this year. But look, I have so much respect for him, and I'm going to continue to learn from him. Even if he's a manager, I'm sure he's going to have a lot of insight on how I can be a better general manager.
In 2014, you were 7 for 14 against the Yankees, 275 lifetime hitter against the Bombers, and a home run. I'm going to remind Joe Girardi of that bomb at some other point. Sam Fuld, congratulations, man. Great day for you. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for having me on.
All right, you got it. Sam Fuld, new GM.